Hi, how are you doing? I would like to welcome you to another episode of Underground Reggie. I'm your host, Rico Banks, and today we have Carly Turro with us. Carly, can you say what's up to the people?
Yeah, what's up? Hey, how's it going?
Oh man, everything's going pretty good. So Carly, she's an actress on the Amazon Prime series, Bunkheads. Carly, I'd like to talk for you to speak with the people and let them know a little bit about your background and how you got into the film and television industry.
Yeah, I had kind of a winding route to get into acting. Originally, growing up, I thought I was going to somehow end up in science, doing something sciencey. I was a bit of a bookworm, and I went to Colgate University where I was a bio major.
Mm-hmm.
And after I graduated, I started working at a cancer hospital and thought maybe I was going to go to med school. That kind of ended up being my big path there for a while, and I was finishing up studying for applying to med school, taking the MCAT, when I realized that I didn't think that was going to be a good fit. It took me a long time to figure it out that I wasn't going to be happy trying to do that. And doctors do so much good, and it's an amazing career path, but it just wasn't going to be right for me. Mm-hmm. And at that point, I kind of ran out of ideas. I didn't know what I was going to do. And I decided to take an acting class for fun. I was living in New York City and have a lot of friends who are in the arts in various ways and shapes. And I figured, let me do this. It would be something different, kind of getting back to some creativity I hadn't really explored in a long time. Mm-hmm. And I took an acting class, and that was kind of it. I did one class, and I loved it. Got a couple laughs in my first scene, and I mean, anytime you can make somebody laugh, it's like a high. So I just kind of took more and more classes, and over time I realized, like, this isn't just for fun or a hobby. It was what I really wanted to do. So I made the transition to, instead of, working at the hospital full-time, I cut back to part-time, and then eventually kind of shifted away to pursue acting full-time. And that's what I've been doing for the last few years.
Okay, would you say that you're a film and television enthusiast?
I'm a film and television enthusiast?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so much out right now. It's kind of overwhelming trying to keep up with it. But, I mean, I don't think I could do what I do if I didn't love it. It's just, I love to make stories. I love to be a part of it. And then when I want to relax, I usually want to put on something that's going to make me laugh. And, it's definitely, I just finally saw Avengers, and I was sitting in the theater and just like, oh man, like, I love everything about this.
So, we were just talking about science, and I wanted to go back to that for a little second. Would you say that you were a fan of science fiction, television, novels, and films?
Yeah, a little bit. Not so much. Growing up, I was pretty much anything that would make me laugh. I loved comedies and things that were really lighthearted. And I started to slowly get into science fiction and fantasy a little bit, watching Star Wars with my dad, or just, culturally, like some of the bigger movies. And the older I've gotten, the more I've really started to enjoy getting into science fiction. And there's a lot to catch up on, but I remember a couple years ago, I just binge-watched all of Battlestar Galactica, and just season after season, and I was like, oh, I've been missing out on this. And recently, like, getting into The Expanse, anything with space kind of gets me. I don't know, that's always been a hook that it's just like, it's so fascinating exploring those worlds.
That's how Game of Thrones just got me recently. I got caught up in all the hoopla about the big fight scene, and ever since then I've been trying to keep up with it and see what's happening next.
Yeah, I mean, oh my God, yes, yeah. I actually, with the team from Bunkheads, the show, we've been doing a Game of Thrones watch party, and it's hard to believe that, the series is almost over. But it's been, like, once you're hooked and you're in that world, it's just kind of crazy.
Okay, so you just mentioned Bunkheads. So for the people who don't know, can you give them explanation and about the series, and can you explain to them one of the things that drew you to want to work on the project?
So with Bunkheads is a digital series available on Amazon Prime. It's a zombie apocalypse comedy. It's instead of kind of taking like the Walking Dead approach to the zombie apocalypse, we have 4 strangers who are surviving in an underground bunker. The zombie apocalypse is kind of taking place above them, and they found this refuge. And their biggest struggle day to day is literally just being around each other, trapped underground, 4 strangers who don't necessarily get along.
Mm-hmm.
And every once in a while, they need to go above ground and deal with the zombie hordes and kind of craziness above. But most of the story is actually a comedy taking place underground as they're just trying to survive and, you know, keep up the will to live and not kill each other. So it's definitely kind of a little Shaun of the Dead-y meets, you know, something like New Girl, where you have, you know, 4 people just trying to live with each other and all of their annoying quirks.
Okay. Would you say that the comedy behind it is one of the things that's drawing the audience to actually watch the project?
I think so. I mean, I think a lot of people hear, you know, zombie comedy, and, you know, zombie is kind of a hook for a lot of people. But really, the comedy is, I think, the heart of the show. And I hope that people, you know, when they tune in, appreciate that, you know, that's kind of the perspective we're coming at it is, you know, about the human relations and kind of the absurdities that would come up in this situation. Because in reality, a zombie apocalypse would be horrifying, but it would also kind of create all kinds of weird drama that, you know, anytime you're living with roommates, you're going to have little things and tips and personality clashes that can be kind of hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, it's just really ramped up to 100 because there's no escape. You know, you can't just get a new roommate or, you know, like, you know, break your lease and get out of town. Like, you're stuck with these people. So how do you deal with that? And, you know, our goal is that, you know, we might fight and disagree, but at the end of the day, kind of laughing at the situation.
Okay, so to touch back on something that you said earlier, do you think that by Bunkheads being on a streaming platform, that allows the series to have a longer life than it would be if it was on, say, a television station?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's really nice to know that, you know, the show can just live there and people can watch it at their own pace, at their own time. And, you know, if a new TV show comes out on a major network, I definitely have experienced the situation where I get a couple weeks behind. Like, oh, I've heard about this show, but I missed the first 4 episodes. And then it's hard to play catch-up. You know, you might wait until it gets to a streaming platform a season or 2 later, and then you watch it. But it is kind of nice just having this show live on Amazon where it's on demand forever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've had a lot of people, you know, friends and family obviously watched, but then people I haven't really stayed in touch with, you know, from like elementary school popping up, and they've heard about the show. And, you know, it went online at the end of 2018. I think it was in December, late December, we went live. And, you know, then somebody messages me in March and say, hey, I just heard about your show and I started watching it and I loved it. And that's been really cool that it's kind of like people can go at their own pace.
Okay, so another question about Bunkheads, with you playing the character of Danny. Can you explain the audience what you feel that her importance is in the show?
Yeah. Danny is, so she's the only female amongst the group of 4. So she's kind of there, she's outnumbered a little bit, and so she provides all of the female perspectives. She's also a bit of, I want to say kind of a mother figure to the group. She's pretty rational and
Definitely
tries to kind of rally the group a little bit. So Matt is the oldest character of the group, and he's kind of a calming force, trying to keep the peace, you know, maybe when different personalities sort of clash. And I think Danny really compliments him and tries to raise everybody's spirits when she can. So it's actually interesting when Danny, you know, finally reaches her breaking point. It's kind of significant because she has this natural desire to kind of always cheer other people up and put a happy face on things. So I think that does help overall with the group dynamic. But when she falters, it's also like, oh, okay. Everybody's reaching their breaking point.
Right, and I look at it more so as being a moment of survival, because it's okay to look out for other people all the time, but sometimes you got to look at it for yourself,
Yeah, totally. And I feel like every character kind of has their moments of dealing with that, of, you're trying to put a brave face on this situation, and then, sometimes it just gets to you and it gets to be too much. And I think what's really nice about the show is, these people, for all of their differences that they might have, when somebody's having a rough time, the rest of the group kind of rallies around them. Mm-hmm. And that's a big theme that we kind of see throughout this first season.
Okay, so question, what or what actually can you tell us? Where do you see the direction of the show going moving forward?
Yeah, moving forward, I've spent a lot of time talking to Will, the writer of the show, and he has some great ideas for season 2. He's kind of, clued me in on where some of our characters might go. I don't want to give away too much, but he's got a couple really funny episode ideas. And I think we might see a little bit more of the world outside of the bunker, which I think would be really cool to kind of explore that as well. Mm-hmm. But right now, we are he's got that in the works, and we're just hoping that if all goes well, we'll get to make a season 2 and, bring those episodes to life.
Okay, so besides Bunkheads, is there any new projects that you're working on?
I've got a couple of things in the works right now. I actually have a horror comedy feature film that's right now in post-production, so hopefully it'll be out in the world, hitting the film festival circuit later this year or next year. It's called Blood Puppet, Christmas '94. Mm-hmm. It was another really fun, silly horror comedy that we shot mostly out in Joshua Tree. So that's kind of in the works, and I am also doing some writing. So I wrote a romantic comedy with a friend of mine who lives in New York. We've been co-writing that together, and we're just starting to get to the point where we're ready to really move on from editing the script to shifting focus to actually trying to produce it. So that's a whole other process that we're going to be tackling soon, which is pretty exciting. And I'm spitballing a couple ideas on maybe another small, kind of for fun web series with Will, who is the writer of Bunkhead. It's not in very early stages, but it's been kind of fun to collaborate and think about something that we could create, in between seasons of Bunkheads. Maybe it would be another fun project, definitely a comedy as well.
Okay, so what would you say is your favorite film genre?
My favorite film genre, I would probably have to say comedy. That's pretty broad, but yeah, comedy is kind of where I always gravitate towards, either acting or watching. I love everything, and I would never turn down a good drama. It's nice to play in those roles sometimes. But usually, if I had to pick, I would kind of jump at the opportunity to do comedy.
Okay. Before we let you go, is there any last things that you'd like to tell our audience?
Ooh, that's a good one. No, I guess, I should do the official plug. So Bunkheads is available on Amazon Prime if you want to give it a watch. I am also on social media if you want to give a follow. It's Thus Spake Carly, THUSSPAKE, Carly, CARLY. Nice and long and a mouthful. Maybe one day I'll come up with something shorter, but I've kind of been using that for years, but I like it. And yeah, I don't know. I just, I hope if people tune in, you enjoy it and get a good laugh out of it. All the episodes are pretty short, Bunkheads. It's, I think, 12 to 15 minutes, 6 episodes, so it's very watchable, in an evening or a weekend, or, if you're just tuning in for something fun and you just want a little break from the workday.
Thank you, Carly. Hey, I appreciate you taking the time out to reach out to us and actually speak with us today for this interview. And yes, man, like you guys heard, man, make sure you tune in and watch Bunkheads. This has been another episode of Underground Reggie, and that's our show.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Hey, you're welcome.